evening, coming to you live from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. I could only wish. No, we're actually, we're through the technology that we have. We're kind of is sort of maybe in the parking lot of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. At least it's where a lot of Bulldog fans are going to be this coming Saturday. We are 4 days away. Is it 4 days? 4 days away from kickoff for the 2022 season for the University of Georgia. And so we're counting it down. This is game week, and we're ready to go, And listen, guys, now listen, we want you to chirp in tonight and share with us what you think is going to happen on Saturday. Give us your score. I have my score. I posted it earlier during the week, and I'll be sharing it with you again tonight, what I think is going to happen on Saturday. And so, we're ready. We're ready. It's kickoff time for the University of Georgia, 3:30 this coming Saturday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. The game will be on ABC. And man, are we ever ready? I did watch some of the college games this past weekend. It was week 0 in college football. And so I watched some of those games. And, they were interesting. The, Nebraska and Northwestern game was really interesting from Dublin, Ireland, and Pearl, Nebraska. As we say in the South, bless their hearts, they lost another close one. Nebraska last year, I don't know how many games they lost by 2 or 3 points. They lost a lot of close games, and they lost another one to Northwestern in Dublin, Ireland. And so, bless their hearts. Well, maybe they'll perk it back up. Scott Frost may be on the hot seat at Nebraska, but that's way out in the Midwest, and it's college football, and it was exciting to see. But the most important thing that's going to happen this coming Saturday is that the defending national champions, the Georgia Bulldogs, toe will meet leather, as they say. And we'll get it underway again, 3:30 at beautiful Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. It's the Chick-fil-A kickoff classic game or whatever they call the thing. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Now, we have a stack of stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. If you want to chirp in, you can. If you have a question you want to ask, we'll do our very best to answer that question, maybe give you a little insight into the game coming up this coming Saturday. And we'll be looking at all the SEC games coming up this Saturday. I guess almost all of the SEC teams are going to be in action this coming weekend. And it's opening weekend, week number 1 for college football. So we'll be talking about some of the SEC games and some of the games of national interest as well. Now, this past weekend, there was one SEC team in action, and that was Vanderbilt. And they were playing in Hawaii. Now, if you're Vanderbilt and you don't know what's going to happen in the coming season, what a way to start off the season. Hey, let's get the guys together and let's go to Hawaii to play a game. And that's what they did. And watch some of that game. It was on kind of late, kind of past my bedtime, but I did watch some of that game. And Vanderbilt won that game rather handily, 63-10. Georgia beating Hawaii. Now, the football program at Hawaii was in a mess last year. In fact, it was so bad. The conditions for the team, I think, under that coaching staff last year was so bad, the players went on strike. They actually, I think they didn't show up for a game that they were scheduled to play. And, of course, then the change was made, new coaching staff. But Hawaii, they're going to have a tough season. But Vanderbilt, bless their hearts, that is my second most favorite team in the SEC is Vanderbilt. I get really tired of people being down on Vanderbilt. Yeah, it's a basketball school. It's a baseball school. And, maybe golf and gymnastics and things like that. But what are they doing playing SEC teams? Well, I'm on the bandwagon with Vanderbilt. They beat Hawaii 63-10. Last Saturday night. It was the last time. Quickly, let me share with you some things about that game. The last time Vanderbilt scored over 60 points was in 1969 when they beat Davidson 63-8 that year. Prior to Saturday night, the Commodores did not score that many points over a current FBS team since 1941 when they beat Louisville 68-0. Vanderbilt had a pretty good ground game. They amassed 404 yards on the ground. So there you go. And by the way, Vanderbilt will be playing Elon College this coming Saturday. So after 2 weeks in the college football season, your Vanderbilt Commodores could very well be 2-0. Go get them, Commodores. And in fact, the next Saturday, following Elon College, Vanderbilt will be taking on Wake Forest. And Wake Forest, had a good season last season. The quarterback, however, for Wake Forest is kind of down. So that might be a winnable game for Vanderbilt. And the week after that, Vanderbilt will take on Northern Illinois. So it could very well be that when Vanderbilt takes on Alabama the next week, Vanderbilt could be 4-0. Taking on, I know, I'm making much of Vanderbilt. But they're my second most favorite team in the SEC. Well, congratulations to Vanderbilt. Now, we've got all kinds of stuff here and we kind of put it together. And so we're going to run through some of this and, it'll be a little disjointed maybe, but you'll get the idea about it. Let's talk a little bit about Oregon. Now, last season, Oregon had a 10-2 regular season. They went to the Pac-12 championship game and where they lost that game. They lost that game to Utah. Oregon has a total of 16 starters back for this season, including 5 offensive linemen. Their offensive line looks pretty stout, looks pretty good. And they have a couple of NFL prospects, in fact, on that offensive line. And Dan Lanning, Bo Nix is going to be the starting quarterback. Of course, Dan Lanning is keeping it hush-hush who's going to be the starting quarterback. But I'm with Kirby Smart, Coach Smart. He said, look, I know who's going to start quarterback for Oregon. And then I do as well. It'll be Bo Nix, the transfer from Auburn. Think back a year ago. During this week, Georgia was getting ready to play Clemson in the opener. And we were all trying to learn how to say the name Uiagalelei, the quarterback for the University of Clemson. Georgia, of course, went on to win that game, and that started their championship title run. Last year in 2021, Oregon, in its second game, went to Columbus, Ohio, and beat Ohio State. Do you remember that? Oregon took Ohio State out in the second game of last season. So, you got Oregon. They have some veterans on there, new coach. We'll talk about the reason why we believe Georgia's going to win this game in just a few minutes. On the recruiting trail, I tell you, we got a potpourri of stuff, a plethora of stuff. And so we're going to hit the highlights here and move along pretty fast. So you guys in the classroom, pay attention now. You must keep up as we look over UGA stuff. Top 100 offensive tackle Monroe Freeling committed to Georgia this past week. Monroe Freeling, he's the number 1 recruit out of the state of South Carolina. He's an offensive lineman, 6'7", 283 pounds. 6'7", 283 pounds. Freeling is the 19th commit for the 2023 class. He is an elite offensive lineman. He had offers from Clemson, Florida, Alabama, Miami, and all kinds of other colleges. Georgia, made an offer to him. Really didn't really go after Freeling until Stacy Searles came on board as the offensive line coach for the University of Georgia. And he was ready for Monroe, and he went after Monroe, and he got him. So big get now for Georgia in the 2023 recruiting class. In fact, according to 247sports.com now, Georgia has the number 3 recruiting class in the 2023 cycle right now, as of this moment. And, of course, Georgia will only add more to that class. High-quality recruits coming on board, I'm sure, for 2023. Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's kind of a cool view of Mercedes-Benz. It's from the parking lot. And Mercedes-Benz is, it's a wonderful structure. It's a beautiful building. It's a great place. They play soccer in there. What is it? The Atlanta something. I forget what the soccer team is. And they play soccer in there and have other stuff. So Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. That's where Georgia and Oregon will kick it off this coming Saturday, 3:30 on the ABC television network. Now, if you're going to the game, enjoy it live. If you can't make it to the game, then you can watch it on ABC. And one of the things we're going to do this year is prior to each game, at halftime and after the game, we're going to go online and let you guys talk about, what Georgia has done. And I'm sure we're going to be talking about a victory for the University of Georgia. Let's take a look at some of the games coming up this coming weekend. Of course, the big one, Georgia and Oregon. Actually, the week one kicks off on Thursday night. And there's some interesting games on Thursday night. For instance, you have Central Michigan taking on Oklahoma State. That's at 7 p.m. on Thursday night. Did we get where's that going to be on? ESPN or something? Then you have West Virginia taking on Pittsburgh. Now, that's a big rivalry game. I don't think it was played last year for some reason or the last couple of years. But you have a renewal of that rivalry between West Virginia and Pittsburgh. That's at 7 p.m. This is Thursday night now. So, your weekend, it's Labor Day weekend coming up. So you can start your Labor Day weekend early with these games. Central Michigan at Oklahoma State, West Virginia at Pittsburgh. And then you have at 7:30, you have VMI taking on Wake Forest. That'll be on the ACC network, and that'll be at 7:30. Now, that's Thursday night. Then on Friday, you have kind of an interesting game. You have Western Michigan taking on Michigan State. Michigan State in the top 20. And so that'll be Friday night at 7 p.m. That'll be on ESPN. And then on Saturday, a lot of games on Saturday. We'll just run down some of the notable games coming up. At 12 noon, Colorado State taking on Michigan. Michigan, the favorite in that game. Then you have North Carolina taking on East Carolina at 12 noon on Saturday. And also you have Sam Houston State taking on Texas A&M. Texas A&M will be kicking it off at 12 noon on Saturday. Then at 3:30 p.m., you have UTEP taking on Oklahoma. UTEP and Oklahoma. And, of course, obviously, Oklahoma the favorite. Then you have Bethune-Cookman taking on Miami of Florida at 3:30 on this coming Saturday. And I'm sorry, is that right? Yeah, this coming Saturday. Then you have Houston taking on the University of Texas at San Antonio at 3:30. And then another interesting game, very interesting game. I think it's on the SEC network, I believe. We need to, to get where these games are going to be on TV. You have Cincinnati taking on Arkansas. And that should be a very interesting game. Cincinnati, of course, coming off a great season last season, making the playoffs. Arkansas had a good season last season, had a little slump in the season. That should be a very interesting game. It will be in Fayetteville. So it's a home game for Arkansas. Then at 3:30, you have the Oregon Ducks taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. There you go. And I saw today the latest line on that game is that Georgia is a 17.5-point favorite over the Oregon Ducks in that game. So, still a 17.5-point favorite for Georgia. Then at 4 o'clock, you have BYU. A lot of people are expecting Brigham Young University to have a good season. They have a lot of guys coming back, a whole pile of guys coming back, and they'll be taking on South Florida. Then at 4 p.m., you have the Troy Trojans out of Alabama, taking on the Ole Miss Rebels. Lane Kiffin and the guys will be kicking off this Saturday at 4 o'clock. Then at 6 o'clock on Saturday, you have Rice taking on USC. At 7 o'clock, Illinois State taking on Wisconsin. And then you have at 7 p.m. Albany, and that's Albany, New York. University of Albany out of Albany, New York, taking on the Baylor Bears. Then at 7 p.m., you have Miami of Ohio taking on Kentucky. It'll be interesting to see that Kentucky team. A lot of folks are thinking about Kentucky and projecting they're going to have a good season. Then at 7 p.m. on Saturday, you have the Utah Utes, the Utes of Utah, taking on the Florida Gators. And Utah is a favorite in this game, even though they're traveling to Gainesville. Utah is a favorite. I think I like what? A 4-point? Is that the last time we saw it? 4-point favorite over Florida. That'll be in Gainesville. That's on Saturday night at 7 p.m. And then you have Notre Dame taking on Ohio State at 7:30. Notre Dame and Ohio State. Now, Notre Dame going to Columbus, Ohio. That'll be at 7:30 on Saturday. Boy, there's some good football games coming up this coming Saturday in week 1 of college football. And then you have at 7:30 Utah State taking on Alabama. Utah State traveling to Tuscaloosa to take on the top-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. So those games, those are some of the major games happening on Saturday. Now, if you don't get your feel of college football, if you've been missing college football and you need to replenish yourself on college football, man, you can do it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We all need like 10 televisions to be able to watch these games. You know, you have that picture-in-picture thing. I can't do that. That confuses me completely. But boy, there's going to be a lot of good games coming up on Saturday. Of course, the most important from our perspective is Oregon and Georgia. But wait, you know, as they say in those commercials, but wait, in the next 10 minutes, if you come, never mind. But wait, the college football season, week 1 is not over yet. On Monday, September 5th, you have Clemson taking on Georgia Tech. The Clemson Tigers, number 4 ranked or number 5 ranked, whatever, you know, you want to look at, whichever rankings you want to look at. Clemson taking on Georgia Tech. That'll be 8 p.m. on Labor Day coming up. So, you know, that's a lot of games. We can get our feel. I said, of college football this coming weekend, and it'll wet our whistle. And then, of course, you know, the next week you have the NFL kicking off. It's football season. Mama, I'll see you sometime in February. Right? You know, I'm out the door. Yeah. Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Beautiful sunset in Atlanta when that picture was taken. Okay. We're going to run over the SEC games right quick. And I'll give you my prognostications on who's going to win these games. By the way, Rusty Manziel is going to be with us later in the week. And Rusty and I will be talking about Georgia and Oregon and some other stuff going on in college football. So here we go. Ball State at Tennessee. When is that? That's on the 1st. When is the 1st? Thursday? Thursday. Ball State will take on Tennessee. That'll be on the SEC network. Of course, we're going to take Tennessee. In that game, 8 p.m. on Thursday, Louisiana Tech at Missouri. That'll be on ESPNU. We're going to take Missouri. On Saturday, 12 noon, Sam Houston State taking on number 6 ranked Texas A&M. That'll be on the SEC network. We'll take Texas A&M. 3:30 Oregon and Georgia. We'll talk about that in a minute. 3:30 Cincinnati and Arkansas on ESPN. That's going to be a good game, but I think Arkansas is going to win that game. Then at 4 p.m., you have Troy taking on Ole Miss, the 21st ranked Ole Miss Rebels. That'll be on the SEC network. And, of course, we'll go with Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. Then at 7 p.m., Utah and Florida. Now, this is Utah is the number 7th ranked team in the country. Florida is in some of the rankings, up there like 22nd or something in some of the rankings. So Utah is favored in this game. Of course, Utah had a great season last season. They have a lot of guys back. Florida, Billy Napier, his first game as the head coach for the University of Florida. It'll be on ESPN. That's going to be a fun game to watch. And but I'm a Gator hater, but I don't think Utah's going to beat Florida in Gainesville in this first game. So I'm going to go with Florida winning a close game. And then on Saturday, Miami of Ohio against Kentucky, 20th ranked Kentucky. That'll be on the SEC network. We'll go with Kentucky in that game. Then at 7 p.m., Mercer and Auburn. That'll be on the SEC Network Plus and ESPN Plus. Mercer at Auburn. I love Mercer. You know, they're kind of local to us here where we are. Auburn. By the way, SEC shorts. We love SEC shorts. They put out those great videos depicting SEC teams. Just absolutely love them. Man, they've got a funny one up now about Auburn. Looking forward to the new season. It is so hilarious. Check it out. SEC Sports, Shorts rather. Check it out. Mercer at Auburn. And of course, we're going to have to go with Auburn as they open the season. Then you have Elon College at Vanderbilt. We're going to go with Vanderbilt. That'll be on the SEC Network Plus and ESPN Plus. Then at 7:30 p.m., Utah State at Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And gosh, Alabama is so loaded. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Alabama is so loaded. And, you just, Alabama obviously win this game. And then at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, Memphis at Mississippi State. Now, this is the SEC schedule. Memphis at Mississippi State in Starkville. That'll be on ESPNU. We'll go with Mississippi State. Don't know what Memphis has. You know, sometimes Memphis has a good team, good times. Sometimes they have rough times. So we'll go with Mississippi State. Then on Saturday, 7:30 p.m., you have Georgia State at South Carolina. Now, South Carolina, a lot of hype about the Gamecocks. Some guys at ESPN say that South Carolina is going to beat Georgia. Yeah, we'll have to see about that. That won't happen. But anyway, this game will be on the SEC Network Plus and ESPN Plus. And then another interesting game is on Sunday. This is Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Is that right? Yeah, the 4th on Sunday. Forgot about this Sunday night game. Yes, so you can watch Thursday, games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So hey, take the trash out early, get your Dr. Pepper and your popcorn, and here we go. So Sunday at 7:30, you have Florida State playing LSU. So there you go. Coach Kelly's the debut as the coach at LSU that'll be on ABC, and that'll be Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. And we'll go with LSU. Florida State beat Duquesne, and you would have thought Florida State had beaten the world. From some of the things we've seen. It's Duquesne, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. So we'll go with LSU. So that's the SEC schedule coming up for this weekend. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll see you. Now go to church on Sunday. You got to go to church on Sunday now. I will know if you don't. Go to church on the Lord's Day, but enjoy that football. Enjoy that. That's what I do. I enjoy football. So do it. A couple of notes about Georgia. Kendall Milton. He's had a hamstring injury, but apparently he was practicing this week without limitation. So it looks like Kendall Milton will be good to go for the game against Oregon. 7 tailbacks. There's 7 tailbacks that were in practice this week. Kendall Milton, Kenny McIntosh, Dejon Edwards, Branson Robinson, walk-ons Savon Clark, Cash Jones, and Jacob Hurdle. Jacob Hurdle, the tailbacks for the University of Georgia. So looks like we're ready to go there. Now, what about recruiting? 2023 recruiting rankings. Here we go. Did you give me that? Yeah, you did give me that. Okay. 2022 or 23 rankings rather for from 247sports.com. Alabama has the number 1 ranked team at the moment as far as recruiting is concerned for 2023. They have 21 commits. Texas has the number 2 recruiting class with 22 commits. Georgia is number 3 with 19 commits. After we picked up our big offensive tackle this week, that bumped Georgia up to number 3. Notre Dame is the 4th-ranked recruiting class for 2023 with 23 commits. Oklahoma, number 5 with 22 commits. Ohio State, number 6 with 20 commits. LSU, number 7, the 7th-ranked class in 2023 with the recruiting class, 21 commits. Clemson, 21 commits. At number 8, number 9, Miami of Florida, 17 commits. And number 10, Florida with 20 commits. So there you go. That's the latest on the recruiting trail. Boy, I'm ready. I am so ready for that game in that stadium this coming Saturday. So let me give you 3 reasons why I think Georgia is going to beat Oregon. Okay? We're going to run through these right quick. I shared it earlier this week. But here's 3 reasons why Georgia is going to beat Oregon. Number 1, Georgia has the better team. It's just true. Georgia has the better team. Top to bottom, offense, defense, special teams, coaching staff. We have better cheerleaders, obviously, better cheerleaders. We have the better band. We have the Spike Squad. I mean, seriously, we have the better fans from top to bottom. Every way you can look at it, Georgia simply has the better team. Now, Oregon has a talented team, and they're going to do very well in the Pac-12. And I think they're going to have a good season. But Georgia in this game, Georgia has the better team. And unless something weird and quirky happens in the wrong way, we believe Georgia is going to win this game. Second of all, this game is played in Georgia. Now, it's not a home game for Georgia. They're not between the hedges. Well, the Bulldogs are very familiar with that stadium in our background, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And so while this won't be, a home game, it will be like a home game for the Bulldogs. On the other hand, Oregon has to travel across the country, and ducks don't travel very well. Well, actually, they do, don't they? They migrate, so they do travel pretty well. But anyway, Oregon has to travel across the country through many time zones to play in an unfamiliar place against the defending national champions. Advantage, Bulldogs. And here's the third reason why I believe Georgia is going to beat Oregon, and that's coaching. Dan Lanning, we love the guy. He's a good guy. He's just a good guy. Big family man and a great coach. He was a great coach for the University of Georgia. I think Dan Lanning's going to be a very good head football coach. But this is Dan Lanning's first game as the top man. And typically, new head coaches at major colleges, especially when they have not been a head coach before, struggle in their first year in charge. And so you have Oregon starting off the season against the defending national champions. You have Dan Lanning in his first game as the head man, and and all of that. I think things are going to be a little rough around the edges for Dan in his first game at the helm. I think Georgia's going to take advantage of those mistakes and jitters made by Dan and his team. And here's my prediction. Here's my prediction for this game, and I'm going to stand by it. Georgia is a 17-point favorite according to those in the know. Well, I believe Georgia's going to win this game 35-7. 35-7. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I think Georgia's going to win. Quickly, just a quick look at the schedule for the University of Georgia. Georgia has 6 games in Athens this season. The Bulldogs will host Samford on September 10th, Kent State September 24th, Auburn on October 8th, Vanderbilt October 15th. Hey, Wendell, how you doing, my man? Yeah, it's duck season. What is it? Wabbit season. No, duck season. Remember that on the cartoon? Okay, anyway. Vanderbilt October 15th. This is the home schedule for Georgia. Tennessee November 5th. Georgia Tech November 26th. The homecoming game will be Vanderbilt for Georgia on October 15th. That's the home schedule. Samford, Kent State, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, and Georgia Tech. That's the home schedule for the University of Georgia. Now you have that, game obviously in Oregon. So here's the road games for Georgia. You have the season opener against Oregon at Mercedes-Benz on September 3rd. And then Georgia travels to South Carolina on September 17th. They'll play at Missouri in Columbia on October the 1st. They play against Florida in Jacksonville on October 29th, at Mississippi State on November the 12th. And then Georgia will travel to Kentucky on November 19th. Now, most media sources, a lot of media sources, not all of them, but a lot of them anyway, are predicting that for the second year in a row, Georgia will go undefeated in the regular season. Now, that is certainly possible, but that is not going to be easy. Some are saying that Georgia will lose at least one game. Others even have Georgia losing more. Now, Georgia, and I love what Kirby Smart said. He said, "We will not be hunted. We will be the hunter." And that's the way you got to look at it. We're not going to cower in the corner. Man, we're going to the battle on the football field. And so when you're the defending national champions, you have a target on your back. Every team this year is going to give Georgia its very best shot. So here's the toughest games, I believe, for Georgia. That will include Oregon, obviously. And then you got the usual suspects. Auburn will come in gunning for Georgia, Tennessee, Florida. And then you have some watch out games. Some games you better watch out for, and games that will be tough. That'll be on the road at South Carolina. That place will be crazy when the Bulldogs come into Columbia. In Starkville with all those bells, woo! That'll be a wild game against Mississippi State at Kentucky. Kentucky will be sky high. In fact, if Kentucky were, by some strange way to beat Georgia, I think the state of Kentucky would just fall off the map. I mean, those people would go slap crazy. They want to beat Georgia so bad. Those are going to be tough games for Georgia. The game at Missouri, it's going to be tough. So, will Georgia go undefeated in the 2020 regular season? Well, that's my prediction. But watch out for some very close games. I tell you what, if you're a Bulldog fan, be ready for some nail biters. And when the Bulldogs blow out an opponent, just enjoy it while you can. But there are going to be some tough games, I think, for Georgia in the 2022 season. So I think Georgia's going to go undefeated. They'll play Alabama in the SEC championship game. And I think Georgia, we'll win that game, go on into the playoffs. I think we're going to do it again. Why not? We had so much fun last year winning the whole shooting match. I make a motion we do it again. Let's do it again, indeed. All right, thank you for being with us tonight on Dawg Talk. By the way, we have a big announcement. We haven't even mentioned our big announcement. We are no longer UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram. We are now Dogs on Demand on Facebook and Instagram. We have changed our name, and the reason we've changed our name is that, our little concern here. UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram began in our basement. Just two guys, a father and a son, having a good time talking about the University of Georgia, and we said, hey, let's do a podcast. Everybody in the world's doing a podcast, so let's do a podcast. And we started talking about Georgia. And you guys have been so supportive of us, and we appreciate it. But as time has gone by, things have changed, things have grown. And we had a guy come on board, and you'd say, well, who is that? Well, we had Champ Bailey come on board. He's our partner, Champ Bailey. Yeah, that Champ Bailey, the one who is a college football Hall of Famer, a pro football Hall of Famer, Georgia great. In fact, this season at the Tennessee game, Champ will be honored by the University of Georgia for being elected to the College Football Hall of Fame. He'll be inducted officially into the College Football Hall of Fame sometime, I think, in December. And so things are changing. We're expanding. We're looking beyond just football to a lot of all the sports for the University of Georgia. So we're now Dogs on Demand. We're already that on Instagram. We're kind of making the process through Facebook. And we'll have dogsondemand.com and all that good stuff. So, hey, hang in there with us. We're ready to go here. So, University of Georgia and Oregon this coming Saturday. Georgia, the Bulldogs go duck hunting this coming Saturday, 3:30 p.m. We'll be talking with you more this week about that game. Look forward to it. Our good buddy Rusty Manziel will be with us later in the week as we talk a little bit more about the University of Georgia. So we'll close out our program. Thank you for being with us tonight, and go Dogs.